I think we'll go Iowa State here. I think we'll go Iowa State. We'll take the points.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's March, right? It's March. They're going to be competitive. It's going to be close.
That's a winner. That is a winner. It's March.
How many stars on the fact that we got the correct month?
I mean, is it not March?
It is March. What's up, everybody? Welcome. We're doing a special weekend edition of Fade the Mahoney. Our booking department continues to run really hot. We've got Ryan Feldman here with us. Our list of amazing guests continues. Tell me which one of these are incorrect, if any of them are wrong. Owner, creator, producer, booker, maybe director, Hustler Casino Live?
Yeah, those are all pretty accurate.
Okay, what did I forget? Anything?
I don't know. I just kind of manage the whole operation in terms of the production side. And we have a great team of people around me as well. So everybody kind of has hybrid roles and does multiple things. So yeah, all those titles are fairly accurate. I organize the games. I produce the show. I sort of direct it, depending on how you define direct. We have a technical director, so he pushes all the buttons. I kind of oversee all the people in the control room. Social media, content, just a lot of different roles. But it's a small group of people that run the show with us, but it's an amazing group, and everybody works their asses off and contributes in amazing ways. So that's
okay.
That's the reason to me why we've been so successful. It's mainly because of the people we have around us and how much work they've all put into it.
All right. Well, I hear through the grapevine, previous experience at the big 4-letter network for sports. You're a college basketball expert. So just be patient, everybody. We will get to the money-making picks down the road. But I have obviously some questions I want to ask. First off, for all of those, us and all the people watching who love to watch poker, thank you. We all used to watch live at the bike, and it was good for what it was, but we didn't really have any idea that you could make a poker show beautiful to watch and listen to and super entertaining. So thank you very much for doing that. It's excellent stuff.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, so I imagine we have some new viewers checking in for the first time. My name's Mike. This guy over here, he's the E-Donk. We have what we like to call the best fake sports gambling show on YouTube.
Sorry, just my dog is making noise in the background, so keep going. I'm just gonna let him go outside while you're talking. So
okay. The point of this show is basically, if this guy here gets really excited about a bet, just go the other way. Fade the Mahoney. As you notice by how we opened the show with the previously on, how excited he got for Iowa State in the middle of the week. That'll give you a clue. We've got a solid catalog of episodes that we've done, including lots of big guests recently. We had Maria Ho on before the Super Bowl. David Tuckman's been on a few times, including an NHL betting episode with Daniel Negreanu. We've had DGAF on a couple times. Joe Stapleton's been on a couple times. We've got a really good Rounders episode that people like. Lots of connections to Hustler Casino Live, like I mentioned, with Tuck and DGAF. One of our really popular episodes is recent hero of the show, Nick A. He was on the show. People enjoyed his episode, and Nick put on a show last night on Friday night.
Yeah, he was a late show sub for the last hour of the show.
I trust you watched the whole thing. You probably watched all of them. He wanted me to convey to you personally, when he told you to go fuck yourself, he was just kidding.
I don't even remember when that was, but all right.
Oh, that was after he made the big fold and was looking for someone to blame. So I guess it was you.
For like him, for getting him on the show. Yeah, and then him losing.
Yeah. He was just kidding.
That's funny. I know that.
last I checked, that episode had 176,000 views already. That's
Yeah, it was the live audience. It was our third most watched show so far, only behind the two Phil Ivey shows.
yeah. So I was gonna ask what's the secret sauce? What draws? Is it the big names? Is it the high stakes? Is it the personalities, the rivalries, the bunnies? What is it?
Yeah, it's all of that for sure, and just the momentum. I think yesterday was extra because of Rampage, and he has a huge audience, and the fact that he was playing really big. He has 134,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, so people just love watching him, all his followers. So that's what it was. The last 2 days were really big with him on the show. Last 3 days rather. So yeah, anytime we have like a special guest like that has a big following, a Rampage, Mariano, Poker Bunny, different people. We had Jungle Man once a long time ago that added to a Friday game. So whenever there's like someone special that doesn't get to play that often, I think that gets a lot of viewers. And then you add to that the high stakes and the combination of Garrett and some of the other regulars. And then, yeah, a few weeks ago, you had the Garrett Dillon rivalry. Obviously, that drew a lot of viewers as well. So we've had a lot of good momentum lately. I think the last 4 or 5 Fridays, we've had over 10,000 live viewers, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, it's a lot. Like just a few months ago, I remember our most viewed show was like 7,000 or 8,000. And now, we're getting 10,000 every Friday. So it's pretty crazy. We're just trying to keep the momentum going and keep trying to find new ways to excite people.
If it's cool with you, I'm not going to put you on the spot. After we're done, I want to pitch an idea to you, if that's cool.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I think it's pretty impressive, just the fact that yesterday was a huge sports day, and I would imagine you probably get a lot more views once college basketball dies down. Now NFL's down. Really, it doesn't really affect your Friday show so much, but now that it's sort of going into sort of a new season, I would think you get a lot more in the spring and summer, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how much our ratings are correlated to sports, because obviously there's so many people watching sports, and there's it's on TV, and I think people can watch sports on TV and still watch the show on their phone or their iPad. So I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is that obviously in general people are more into watching on the internet now than watching on TVs, but still I think mainstream sports are being watched a lot on TV, and so I don't think it really affects us that much, but I've never really studied that, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that people just love poker in general, and I think that a lot of people just are so addicted to the storylines and the soap opera nature of the show, and they just want to see what's going to happen next, and I think that they just keep coming back because they're so intrigued. What happened last week? What happened yesterday? What's going to happen today? Oh my God, this guy's playing today. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
they don't want to miss a big hands.
It's a great TV show where people play poker, right?
Yeah, it really is. I look at it as a reality show, and we're casting characters, and that's the thing. Is like when people get upset or frustrated because they can't get on the show. We have a lot of people that want to play on the show, and it's like, well, what do you bring to the show? Why do you deserve a spot on our great show? And we're casting, in a way. And sometimes we take chances. Sometimes we guess, will this guy be good for the show? Will he not? And we take a chance.
Shout out Tom, right? Shout out Tom earlier this week.
Oh yeah, he was just like a guy who was at the casino, and we had an open spot later in the show, so we just let him play. But yeah, that happens once in a while. But yeah, I get so many like DMs on Twitter and Instagram and texts and whatnot, and it's hard to like filter through. And some people say, yeah, I'm gonna be action, I'm fun, I'm this and that, and then they come and they're super tight and boring. You just never know. So that's why we try to stick to our regulars, the guys we know, because once somebody proves themselves that they're good for the show, that they deserve to be part of the group, then I'm going to keep inviting them back. And in the end, this is really just a private game that we're organizing that happens to be recorded and happens to be shown to everyone that everyone can watch. So it is a reality show in one way. Another way, it's just a private show that we're airing on YouTube. And so we just kind of decide who's good for the private game to make all the players happy.
So theoretically, it's possible to get on for the first time, but it's pretty difficult to come back a second time, especially if you don't bring anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably harder to get your foot in the door and get on the show first because there's so many people that want to play. The best way is just send me a DM with your detailed explanation of why you're good for the show and what you bring to the table and who you are and what you do for work and how much poker you play and all of that. And then, another way is just a referral. Like if somebody I trust comes to me and says, hey, I got this guy that'd be great for your show, then if I trust that person, I'm going to give that guy a shot, like, for example, Dr. Eli wanted to bring a guy recently, this guy Sonny that played twice in the last week. And he said, he told me he's fun. And I'm like, all right, well, if Dr. Eli wants to play with him, he's probably good for the game. So he brought this guy and he's pretty epic. So yeah, that's probably the best way. But, don't be offended if you don't get on the show or if I don't respond. There's just a lot of people that want to play and it's hard to filter through all of that and know like who's actually good for the game and who's just some type pro that's trying to like bluff their way onto the show,
There are only 8 seats, right? You guys play
eight or 9, depending on the day. Yeah, exactly. So there's always going to be hurt feelings.
Who's the guest or player that you got on the show that you're most proud of that you booked?
I mean, I guess Tom Dwan. Tom Dwan was like when I was growing up watching poker, he was the guy I idolized that I watched that I thought was like a god. And I always dreamt of getting him on my show. And I shouldn't say I never thought it was possible, but I just didn't think it would happen this quickly. And yeah, so that one was pretty cool. I just had never even seen him in person before I had him on the show. So to me, that's like a godly figure where you never even see him in a poker room, and then all of a sudden you're trying to get him, and he's this big deal. And then, yeah. So that one has to be number one for me, and it's going to be tough for that to ever top that one because I think that Dwan and Ivy were, to me, the biggest names in poker in terms of just like, I don't know. I mean, like Helmuth and Negreanu are huge, obviously, but I've already known them. I see them all the time. They play on streams. Dwan and Ivy, not so much.
Right. Yeah.
They're kind of tougher gets, and yeah, they're just more like unicorns, I guess, in poker. So it's going to be tough to top that. I don't know who in the actual poker world could ever top Dwan and Ivy.
Yeah, they delivered the numbers too, right? Those
Yep.
were them. Quick aside, if anybody wants to hear the origin story of Hustler Casino Live, I don't know, 7-8 months ago or so, Ryan and Nick Vertucci sat down with DJF for a pretty extensive interview on sessions, and it's all in there, and that's really good stuff. So if you haven't heard that, go find it. I had a question here about creating new stars and how do you find them? I guess specifically a couple that I was going to ask about. Nick A, who's turning into a star. I understand you've known him for a while, but what about Wes and my new favorite player, Ivan? Where'd those guys come from?
Oh, yeah, Nick A, I've known for a while. I just knew him when I used to play at Pike. Like he would be there playing PLO and kind of met back then, so we always kept in touch. But he was living in New York for the last year and a half or so, since the pandemic, I would say, or somewhere in that frame, until recently. Wesley, it's funny. Wesley's a funny story. Like we have a 10-20 game on a Wednesday 1 week, however many weeks ago that was. And just like a seat opened, like someone busted out, and just in the middle of the show, he just like walks up to the set and starts talking to the floor man. And the 10-20 game, which we either do on Mondays or Wednesdays, more Wednesdays recently, it might change it to Mondays, we'll see. And DJF, by the way, will play on the 10-20s starting soon, either this coming week or next week. So you guys will get to see him play finally. So the 10-20 is the game where I'm like most willing to just like give a random a seat, like a Tom that day, when a seat opens up, because it's our lowest stakes game. It's kind of just the game where I give people chances that I'm not sure about. And
Good call.
what's that?
Good call with Wesley.
Yeah, and so it was kind of just lucky. He just walked up to the set, talked to the floor man. Floor man tells me in my headset, "Hey, this guy wants to play." I looked at who he was, and I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not? Give him a chance." Have no clue how he's gonna be, nothing. I'm just like, sure, whatever. We got a seat open. Let's just let this guy play. Total luck. He sits down. Right away, I realized that he's plays recreationally, like he's just, limping with some bad hands, and you could just tell he's not seasoned, and then within a few orbits I realized, like, all right, this guy's cool. And after the show, I jumped in the game, was talking to him, playing a little bit, whatever. And just realized that he's like super cool. He told me his story. That he told me his story, that he's a crypto guy and that he's only been playing poker a few weeks. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So he texted me the next day, and he's like, hey, like, what other games you got? Because I asked him after the show, I said, okay, like, what stakes do you want to play? And at that point I didn't know exactly like that he'd be a star, how good for the game he'd be, or anything like that. I just knew he'd be like someone that we could have in the group. And he's like, oh, I like these stakes, like 10, 20. I'm like, okay, cool. And I told him what other stakes we have. And so the next day he texts me, and I guess he had fun, and he's like, all right, what other games, like, what do you have today? And I'm like, I don't have any seats today. He's like, what's tomorrow? I'm like, tomorrow's 100, 200. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I know you want to play like 10, 20, so I'll get you in something next week. Friday morning he texts me again, and he's like, what's the game today? Is there any seats? And I'm like, well, it's 100, 200. Like, you said you want to play 10, 20. And he's like, oh, whatever, it's all the same. That's what he said. He said it's all the same. So I said, so now I'm like, oh man, like, I already have 8 people in, and I already have 8 people in the game. We usually cap it at 8. Again, I don't know how great this guy is for the game, but I know that he is a recreational player. I know that, I kind of like want to give him a shot and see how he is, because I'd only seen him for like an hour, hour and a half at the end of that Wednesday show, and there wasn't a huge sample size yet. And so I said, why don't you come like during the show, and like if someone busts out, I'll get you in. And he said, okay. And he asked me about getting chips. Oh, I think him that on Wednesday, was that him? I think on that first show he played, did he ask like if he could buy? Yeah, he asked the table, can I buy back in with crypto or something, or can I buy chips for crypto? So then Friday, yeah, he's texting me about playing. And I'm like, all right, well, just come at like 6 o'clock. We start the games on Fridays, like usually like 2, 3 o'clock. And I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like, hopefully someone will bust out. I'll get him in. So he shows up like 5 o'clock, and the floor man calls me downstairs, and he's like, hey, that guy Wesley's here. And I come downstairs, and he has a bag with 100,000 in cash. And he's like, hey, I brought 100K. I'm like, what? And so I'm like, okay, this guy's the real deal. And he goes, I'm like, okay, can you just like wait around? Do you want to like play a small game, or like wait upstairs, or and then I'll just get you as soon as the seat opens. And he's like, well, can you just like hold this for me? So he like gives me his bag of 100K cash to just like hold upstairs in the control room. So now I'm just holding his cash, like he just clearly doesn't care, And so I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, man, I just go upstairs and I'm talking to our guys, and I'm like, we got to get this guy in. So I go downstairs, I talk to some of the players in the game, and I'm like, hey, yeah, we gotta like make an exception and make this, because I can always make a Friday game 9-handed. It's just we always cap it at 8 because it's better for action. And I'm like, this guy's got 100K, and I'm like, I think he's good for the game. Like, let's let him play. So I let him play. I got him in right away, and he played the rest of that show. And then he was super fun. I remember like during the show, he like 4-bet shoved Jack 8 off one hand early on, and then after the show, he like crushed it. He won like 100K after the show. And everyone was just amazed. They're like, how is this guy new to poker? but he wasn't like playing like a pro or anything like that, but he was just winning hands. So after that, it was like, all right, a star is born. And next week he was like, I want to play every day. So I just let him play every day. That's pretty much, I just been letting him play as much as he wants since then.
Whenever he wants. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And do you
Ivan I knew from some private games over the last couple of years. I met him once or twice. I had his number, been in contact with him. And then I saw him at a private game. He's like he's friends with Ben and Tiger, the play on the show. And so I just knew he was in town for like 2 weeks. So we just had a spot the one day and I asked him if he wanted to play. That's kind of how that worked out.
Oh, I think he's good TV. I think he's good.
Yeah, he is. When he comes back to town, I'll definitely get him back in. He's super fun, but he's back in Europe now.
Where can the people get a sick T-shirt like that?
I think these ones are sold on the Poker Rags website, I believe. Yeah, go to pokerrags.us and click on the Hustler Casino Live tab, and I believe this one is there. So yeah, we have.
That was so smooth. That was so smooth, Edonk, as a part owner of Poker Rags. Very smooth.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Yeah, pokerrags.us. There's 2 different pages.
Why did you have to ruin it?
What's that?
Mike ruined it.
No, I was giving you credit for being so smooth. It was such a smooth transition.
That was great. Yeah, pokerrags.us. You can buy. You can go to Hustler Casino Live tab on there, and you have this and some other stuff, hoodies, all that. There's also a tab under the Team Poker Rags drop down that says High Stakes Poker Productions. That's me and Nick's company. And so there's separate stuff that says High Stakes Poker Productions on there, as well as some new gear that is Armenian mic related called Blef. And also, I think there's some Chat Pro stuff in there too. But there's definitely the Blef stuff, which says Blef or Life is Blef, and that's new on there. So that's under the High Stakes Poker Productions tab on Poker Rags site. We also have a site that has more Blef stuff called blef.net if you want even more additional stuff. But yeah, we have a lot of gear you can buy. So if you want this one, definitely go to Poker Rags.
We're in a Slack group, and I think it couldn't have been more than 30 minutes after he gave that interview about Life is Blef, where our Slack group was talking about, well, that has to be on a T-shirt.
Yeah, it's so epic. Yeah, that whole interview was so amazing. Kyle Raver Poker, who does commentary for us, he edits videos and intro and outro and all that. He did the whole sequence of Patrick put together the interview first. So Patrick did the interview, he edited that together, Patrick Kern. So he gets credit for the original production of that interview. And then Raver Poker took it and made it into like a techno remix that's now in our intro countdown.
It's so awesome. Edonk, I want to throw out a bet at you that Ryan is going to grade $200 over under 599 names in Ryan's phone that are poker players. $599, $200. You want the over?
I don't even know if I can look. I'd have to I can search the word poker, and I'm sure it's over though. But you guys can bet.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you know how betting works? You can't give us the answer before he takes an over.
Well, I don't know the answers for sure. But...
No, I was snap over. It's got to be $5.99.
I actually don't. I don't even know how to count this. Maybe not.
No, maybe not. Yes. All right.
Let's see. I'll see if I can calculate real quick. I'm just searching the word poker. Doesn't mean there's probably more people that aren't tagged as poker.
All right. Well, while you're looking, I'm going to circle back to what you said. What I had heard was this week DGAF was going to commentate and then play. So
yeah, it's possible. I just haven't finalized the schedule yet for this week. So if there's a 10-20, then he will. If not, it'll be the week after. But okay. It just depends if we have a. Stop it! My dog Bluffy is making noise over here.
Bluffy?
Bluffy, yeah.
Got to change to Bluffy.
Great.
Yeah, I should change it to Bluffy.
Bluffy.
Your runner might be close.
Yeah, I'm a professional when it comes to this sort of stuff. So $5.99, I think, is a really good number. Edonk laughed at it, thought it was ridiculous. Hey, while you're looking,
No, it's definitely over. Looks like it's like 700 or 800.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll Venmo you.
it's pretty bad.
700 or 800 people, and you got 8 seats. That makes it tough to sit.
Yeah.
You
I'm
want
just
to?
gonna put it back outside.
That's okay. If you can hear me, can you tell the people? I think it was announced last night. Big announcement coming up for the show at the end of March.
A big announcement at the end of March. Oh, the Phil Hellmuth thing you're talking about. Yeah. Monday, March 28th. Phil Hellmuth will be playing on the show, so he'll make his Hustler Casino Live debut. It's probably going to be 5,100. We're working on the lineup. It's going to be some fun people. We'll probably have like Wesley in there, for example. Yeah, it's going to be a fun group for sure. And we're going to have
new odds. Minus 125. It will be the highest rated show of all time within 7 days of release.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, those Dwan and Ivy ones and the one yesterday are pretty big, but yeah, well, I hope so. But Lon McCarron and Norman Chad are going to commentate on that too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
I had a viewer by the name of Father Phil ask me a question he wanted me to throw out to you. Has there ever been any talk of, on a given night, making it so you can only run it once?
No, we haven't talked about that. I mean, again,
is it something you'd consider?
I mean, yeah, but it's just, these are, again, like, I know for the fans, it's a show, but for the players, it's also a private game. And we're organizing a game, and these guys play, well, some of these guys play multiple days a week, every week, you know, and like, we have to kind of just cater to them and do what they want. And certainly players can agree to run it once, but, you know, if they want to run it twice because it reduces the variance and keeps, you know, the variance down, keeps more money on the, you know, just like keeps the results closer to even, and just like keeps people in the mix and doesn't bankrupt people. And it's just, I think it's just better to let the players choose that. You know, we could go 3 times if we really wanted to like lower variance, but we just make it once or twice. But yeah, it's tough because I know that like fans want blood and they want huge results. But look, we let them run it twice and you still get these massive results. Look, last night 2 people won 100K plus, and you know 2 people lost, or 3 people lost like 80K plus. And you know, on a lot of the Tuesday ante games, you know, the 5, 550, 5, 5, 100, you know, you have multiple people winning or losing 40, 50, 60K. So the results are already absurd as it is. Imagine how it could be if we made them run it once. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't care about if it was like a game with all pros or something, then yeah. Or if I didn't care about the players, and like Poker Go, they can do that because the people are just traveling to Vegas. They're playing 1 time, 2 times, right? It's just like a one-off thing. But we're unique in that people are here every week. These guys live in LA. This is a private game. They're regulars. And so we don't want to like force them to up their variance when, you know, we want to keep them coming back every week. So we have to kind of cater to them
I get it.
And understand that the players are the most important in all of this.
Sure, I get it. I think those are all my serious questions. I need you to tell me your favorite Taylor Swift song. That's one of the reasons that people come here.
Okay, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but the only one I can think of is Shake It Off, so I'll go with that.
All right, I'll write it down.
If you asked me Bieber, I would have been able to give you a list of songs.
New segment, favorite Justin Bieber song.
Okay.
What do you got?
Oh, I don't know what my favorite would be, but Lonely, Love Yourself.
Love Yourself's a good tune. That's
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of them. I mean, yeah, I'm a big Bieber fan.
All right, let's pick some games.
Let's do it. I used to be a huge college basketball guy a long time ago. I used to cover college basketball, but over the years, I've been out of the loop gradually more and more as I've been more into, you know, poker and producing the show and whatnot. But I'm still aware of what's going on.
All right, I'm gonna do my best to get this in the editing department's hands so that we can get it out in time for the two big games that are still to be played tonight. So we'll do 2 games tonight, and then hopefully in the next 5 minutes I'll have the spreads for the 2 big games tomorrow. But let's
Oh,
start.
let me interrupt just a second because I feel like we're live streaming this because I literally just got a Twitter DM from Jimmy Bluffett saying asking me to buy some Life is Bluff gear. It's like right here.
That's funny.
I feel
There you
like
go.
we're in the matrix.
We are in the
It's
matrix. That's weird.
another and before today, I never even heard of it.
Is there a chance? Is he in your place right now?
Did you bluff it? No, I hope not.
Oh, that would be awesome.
He's a huge poker fan, but I would hope that he's not stalking me.
Okay. All right. ACC championship game is tonight. How is Duke only favored by 6? That's crazy. Duke versus Virginia Tech. What are you thinking there? Ryan Feldman, college basketball expert.
Considering I know Paulo Banchero on Duke, and I can't name a single player on Virginia Tech. And it's Coach K, and it's his last year, and he probably wants to go out with a bang. So I feel like they're going to be motivated to play hard for him and go and on a good note into the tournament. So you said it's Duke -6.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go Duke. I'm going to go Duke -6. I think
All right.
they're gonna cruise. I think Banchero is going to put on a show. I think he's going to end up being the #1 pick in the draft next year.
All right. I need you to rank that on how confident you are with 1 to 5 stars. 5 meaning you know that you know what the final score already is. 1 is I'm just forcing you to bet it.
I'll go 3.5.
3.5 stars. You're a veteran. You knew you could do half stars. Nice job.
Yeah.
All right. Pac-12 championship game. UCLA against Arizona. I'm just going to say it. Arizona only favored by 1.5.
Okay, well,
Right
I know that Garrett Adelstein is a huge Arizona guy. He went there. He was really worried about that game last night more than the poker game that he was playing.
In which he won almost $250,000 or something.
Yeah, but he would have been unhappy if he won all that money, but Arizona lost.
Is he a sports betting guy?
Is he betting? I don't know. I'm sure he has been in his past a lot, but I don't know that he bets at all these days. I don't think so. But.
He comes off as like, I don't think he would. I don't. If I had to guess,
You don't think he'd lay 110?
No, he definitely might bet games for fun, and I know that like years ago he would like fire, but I don't think he's like a. No, I don't think he is.
All right. So you're taking Arizona?
So let me think. So UCLA, I know they were really good last year. What is that? Can't remember. What's that big man's name on UCLA that's good?
Ed O'Bannon.
No, not. Yeah, well, they got Tyus Edney, Toby Bailey, O'Bannon brothers. Yeah,
I won a lot of money off that particular team. For all you youngsters, and I was in college when they were good. That's how old I am.
Yeah, that was '94.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great team. I was a Duke fan back then, so I loved like the Jeff Capel, Wojo, Chris Collins teams. I loved Duke back then. Yeah, I'm gonna go Arizona. I feel like Garrett was telling me how they just kind of aren't like the most talented team ever this year, but they just know how to win, and they just like find ways to win games. And I watched one game where they hit like a 30-foot three with a few seconds left to win it against, I think it was Oregon. So I feel like they're just a well-coached team that knows how to win when it gets close. So I'll take Arizona -1.5 there.
All right. How many stars on Arizona?
I'm gonna go 2.5.
2.5. Okay. For new viewers here, throughout the lifetime of this show, we are currently down 426.5 stars. So
wow, that's crazy. I don't think they're gonna get even from my picks today. But
well, no, but yeah, the longest trip starts with a single step. So We'll do what we can. All right. The two big games tomorrow. The SEC championship game is going to be. Edonk, you got the matchup handy?
The SEC.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it looks
Tennessee. Damn it! I had it. I missed it. Tennessee and Texas A&M. That sounds right. Those are the two teams that won.
Mhm.
And we got Tennessee going to be favored by 5.
Tennessee and Texas A&M. I am going to go Texas A&M.
Okay. How many stars?
2.
2 stars. Last game, we've got Iowa. I'm sorry. Yeah, Purdue and Iowa. That's who's playing in the championship game over there. Purdue by 4.
Is Matt Painter still the coach of Purdue?
No,
Mhm.
that's Gene Keady. Gene Keady? Edonk has no idea who that is. That's how young he is. He doesn't know who Gene Keady is.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, I remember him coming into a high school game that I was playing in, not to watch me, but to watch one of the opponents. He was wearing a big cowboy hat.
Oh, to cover up the shoe polish that he put
Yeah,
on his
exactly.
hair. All right.
Is Glenn Robinson healthy tonight?
Say again?
Is Glenn Robinson
Oh,
healthy tonight?
yeah.
For Purdue?
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Glenn Robinson.
Big
Big
dog?
dog. Big dog. Purdue
I
by
will
4.
go, what's the line?
Purdue by 4.
I'm going to go Iowa.
Okay. And last pick, how many stars?
For that one?
Yep.
I'm going to go 3 stars for that one.
All right. So we got 3.5 on Duke because they're only favored by 6 tonight. 2.5 on Arizona, Texas A&M 2 stars, and Iowa 3 stars. All right. Last question for you. I need a song to add to the Fade the Mahoney playlist, a song that you like that isn't necessarily very popular.
Okay, I'm going to go Poke It Out by Wale.
Poke It Out by Wale. Shout out Wale. He's a huge wrestling fan. There's some wrestling nerds who watch this. So
There you go.
shout out to him.
Great song.
All right, I'm going to add that to the list. Before we say goodbye, the Edonk and I would just like to thank Eric Church. We went to the concert last night. People are saying he's a huge Fade the Mahoney fan, hooked us up with front row seats. Both Mrs. Edonk and my oldest daughter got to meet him at the end of the show as he left. So thank you very much for hooking us up. It was a very, very good time.
Are you a fan, Ryan? Have you heard of Eric Church?
Is he country?
Yes, yeah.
Sounds familiar, but no, I'm not a country guy.
It's like country rock though.
Yeah, he's got a lot of rock.
Yeah, no, it's not my thing, unfortunately.
Well, when you listen to the
Don't knock it.
When you listen to the Fade the Mahoney playlist, there's 1 or 2 songs of his on there that will everybody will like. All right. Gotcha. Anything I didn't cover that you would like to mention, Ryan?
No, I think that's good. I appreciate you guys having me on. And, I appreciate you guys are fans of the show, so I appreciate that a lot.
No, we are. I try to pop in at least once a night while it's on. When you have kids, it's hard to dedicate everything, but it's an excellent show. I love it. We're very grateful for you stopping by. Very generous with your time. And as I mentioned, if you wouldn't mind, just stick around for another minute after we're done recording. But say goodbye to the people, everybody. Good gambling.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.